Hello, I'm here with a little tutorial on Photoshop for a multiplicity effect or cloning effect as you will. I will be showing you how to make a photo like this. I don't have triplets, there's just one of me. So it's a quite simple effect. You want to start off with beforehand just having a tripod and possibly some steady lighting. I was in the cloudy weather when I was shooting these, so I had to do some editing in Lightroom just to kind of match the colors and exposure. Some of it was didn't turn out, but it's fine. Photoshop will fix all that for you. It's nothing too concerning. Same with a bit of the angles as well. Just bumping the tripod and stuff. Photoshop has a built-in thing that will fix that for you, so we'll jump right in here. First, instead of going opening or importing, you want to go to scripts in file and go to load files into stack and click browse and choose the pictures you want. And since a couple of my photos were not aligned super well, you want to just click attempt to automatically align source image, and as long as they're pretty similar, Photoshop does a really good job at lining them up for you. So click OK and they'll load up for you. There we go, and you can see kind of just the outline where my exposure was a bit different, and as well you can see how well it matched up here. They did a really good job at aligning it for me. For the next thing you want to do is you can see where right here the arm continues here. You want to line it up so the person who's in front is the higher layer on here. So I have the arm here, so that layer is below, and then the leg here will be underneath or in front of this area as well. So I put that underneath. I was fortunate where the order I took the photos, I don't have to move them around, but that's like a small detail anyway. So next you want to add a layer mask, which is this button down here, onto your top layers, and is however many layers you have, just add a layer mask onto those and select the white that is shown here and not this one. If you select this one, go to your brush, this is kind of what happens, just black. But if you select this, make your foreground color black, you can see that it just removes it. I just need to increase my hardness here. And you just want to paint the subject out of the shot. It may seem screwed up right now, but it all works out afterwards. You can see the layer underneath being revealed as well. And next you need to just invert the colors, which you can just go adjustments and invert, or just command or control I, and see, it's almost like magic. You can see as well a bit in this area some fine tuning needs to be done just to cover up the edges there. We'll get to that in a second. So we'll continue down to the next layer. Select your brush tool or click B, and I'm just gonna hide this top layer here and paint myself out of the picture here. You can see the layer on that side as well. Down here you can see the problem here. That's just when it was aligning. I'll fix that later with just a simple crop, because you don't need the entirety of that bottom, at least in this specific example. I'm also going to lower my hardness as well here to just feather it a bit, so it's not as harsh when we have to go through. So yeah, select that, Command I, and I'll show this layer again. And you can see just the areas that need to be done. I'm going to start on this top layer here. You can zoom in here as well. Lower this. And you just leave it on black and just paint it right back. that was a pretty bad job there. I'm not going to worry too much about getting the real detail in the edge here. So you can see kind of just like a terrible job right there I did with the bumpy arms. When you go through, you can just try and match it up as best as you can. That'll be just zooming in a bit more and getting the real detail right on the edge there. This is just one simple way I know how to do it. There's probably about 10,000 ways you can achieve this similar effect. I'm just going to go up and do the fingers here on this side, because the parts where actual body parts are the major kind of things you want to get. And then I'm just going to zoom out here. I'm going to take my brush tool, just lower the hardness and feather some of the edges where the shadows are, because you can kind of see that outline, and just feathering it will make it way less noticeable. See, it's just real, you don't even notice. See over here, I'd probably add a bit more of the shadow as well here, but on the bottom here you can notice some of the focus is a bit different as well, so I'd go through and just fine-tune that a bit so it's even. The shadow here just yeah, that should be pretty good for that first one. You can see sort of the outline here, which isn't too terrible. Again, I spend a bit more time on this, but I just want to quickly go over kind of the effect. And so for this one, we'll select down here. Bring my hardness back up, just so it's a bit easier. For some reason, I like to do it with just a huge brush. It's probably more effective if you use a smaller one when you're getting right next to it, but whatever. That's all. I'm lazy for some reason. I just like to get as much of it out of the way as fast as possible, but you can probably do a better job with a smaller brush, especially when you get down into areas like here. That was a decent job there. Just cover this up. And I'll show you what happens as well if you cut too much of like this leg off, if you accidentally paint too much over it, like, oh, whoops, I cut all that. If you switch your foreground color to white over here, you can paint it right back, because the layer mask is a non-destructive form of editing, which is nice. So if you do make these mistakes, you can just bring them right back. So we'll flip it back to black and just finish this up right here. Just get as close as you can. Get those little benches. You can see, you can kind of see the line there. I'm just doing a rough, quick little thing. Almost finished here. Yeah, that's pretty rough there, you know, whatever. I'll zoom out now and just do a bit of feathering, bring my hardness down. You can see, like, yeah, the shadow is kind of where you need to get close. It's a bit easier when you don't have to worry about body parts, because those you can't really cut off. Just do a bit up here. On the head, definitely some right here. Yeah, so that's a quick way to do a little cloning effect. Really simple, just using layer mask and like a couple tools. So even if you don't know a lot about Photoshop, it is pretty easy to do. I'll just do a crop here. There. And that's a quick little thing. You can do this as many layers as you want. The more overlapping body parts get, the more work you're going to have to do. Zoom in there and get real along the edge. But yeah, that's overall a quick way to do a little cloning effect. this is, yeah, my first little tutorial video. Maybe I'll make some more later. This is one of my most common effects that I like to do because it's simple and it turns out pretty well. So yeah, thanks for watching.